Welcome back, everyone, to the Creatures of the Night podcast. I'm Narciso with my bud Dave over here. What's up, Dave?
Hey, how's everyone doing? Long time no see. Our fault always.
It's always the same story. It's like, oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna do it more on a scheduled pace, and it never happens.
So,
It's okay. It's okay as long as we pump them out. Okay, whenever we're ready, right?
we're ready.
Today we're gonna be reviewing the ultra violent Nick Cage mobile, Renfield. So I assume you saw it.
Yes, I did. I saw it.
Okay. I've been looking forward to this. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you saw that's such a funny title. His previous movie, the talent,
Yes.
what's it
No,
called?
no, no, no. I didn't see it. I wanted to see it. I heard mixed reviews on it,
Oh
but
no, it's fucking great.
okay.
That was like like to me it was like his big comeback.
Let's
And
come back. Yeah, I like it.
it has like Pedro Pascal in it.
Yeah, he's great.
That movie, you have to watch that movie. It's like
Tropic Thunder, a little bit. Like
kind of, but
talking about like the whole meta thing. Yeah, the whole thing of making fun of the movie business or whatever.
he
But
obviously plays himself.
I heard it's not Nicolas Cage, it's Nick Cage. I heard something about that. I heard a review where they're saying that he's Nicolas Cage, but he's not really playing himself.
Oh no, he's playing
Okay,
himself
okay.
100%.
And they
And he's
were
playing
wrong.
himself true to life when he's like struggling and he's trying to like make movies to make money and all that shit. But it's Nick Cage is just he's a national treasure. Get it?
True.
He's amazing.
Nicolas Cage is like pizza. When it's bad, it's good. It's still good, you know?
He's good no matter what. Even if it's a shit show, as long as he's in it, I gotta watch it, you know. But I've been looking forward to this one, to be honest with you, because when they announced that he was gonna be Dracula, I didn't know what kind of movie this was going to be. Was it going to be a straight horror, or was it going to be what it ended up being, which is a dark comedy? I know a lot of photos were being leaked and people were making fun of it because it looked weird. It was him in white makeup with that purple suit and stuff. So I didn't know what to expect. I saw the trailers, and the trailers were iffy. I wasn't sold, but it's Nick Cage as Dracula, so I had to watch it. So I saw it, and I'll go second. I'll let you go first. Overall, first impressions.
Okay, first impressions. Well, I'm gonna go into a little bit of a thing like you did.
Okay.
Um, I was aware of this movie. I saw photos online. There was a little bit of a buzz at some
Mm-hmm.
point, and I saw them, and then I was, Nicolas Cage of this era. You don't know what you're gonna get. He does a lot of movies. So I was
Right.
gonna be, but it was around the time of the movie you just said, the Untellable, the Talent of whatever that long title.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the title, but
Yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe this is one of the real movies. I just saw photos of him as Dracula. It didn't off put me that he was all white. I assumed, oh, they're gonna do some sort of like Shadow of the Vampire thing, which there are moments that kind of reminded me of that briefly. I
uh-huh.
came in not knowing really anything. I didn't see the trailers. Obviously, I knew Renfield was the main character. The guy Timothy Holt, I think his name,
Nicholas Holt.
Nicholas Holt. Sorry, yeah. I'm familiar with his movies since he was a little kid. I enjoyed the concept of this movie. I enjoyed a big portion of the movie. There was a
Mm-hmm.
point in the movie where it lost its like luster for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll talk about more later. But the beginning, the intro, it reminded me of a lot of movies, tons of
Mm-hmm.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could say like the way it looked, the cinematography looked a lot better than I expected it to. It reminded me of like that high saturation, colorful, like Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
There was a lot of scenes where like ultra violent Kick-Ass, where it was trying to be hip but cool at the same time. It gave me in the beginning when all that clever editing and everything, it kind of gave me like Shaun of the Dead, Edgar Wright vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Very beginning, all that AA shit reminded me of Fight Club,
Mm-hmm.
like a fucked up Fight Club.
Yeah.
So I guess overall, I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
What did you think?
Okay. So I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I feel like this movie suffers what a lot of movies lately have been going through, where it feels like they shove two scripts in one to prolong the movie. I feel like the Nicholas Holt and Nicolas Cage, the Nick and Nick combination, they have great chemistry. I like that a lot. I love the whole backstory. I love the whole angle of modern times Dracula in hiding, trying to survive
Yeah.
with his um familiar, having to like sustain him. I fucking can't stand Aquafina. I'm so sick and tired of this fucking lady and being shoehorned into every goddamn movie lately. It's ridiculous.
Aqua's everywhere.
Aqua's everywhere. And that
Aqua.
whole subplot with the mafia, they could have just gotten rid of that shit. It made no fucking sense.
That's where it lost me. The third
And
act, picking up the sister, and it became a mob. I thought that the mafia lady was going to be a werewolf because they're the Lobos.
I thought that they were gonna do something supernatural with her
I
also.
thought, oh, they're going to be
Yeah.
clever, and the Lobos gang is like underworld that they're trying to kill Dracula. And when they didn't do that, it was just a mafia thing. That's where it lost me. That's where it became very like kick ass, very like um it wasn't bad, but it was not exceptional anymore. Like they lost the hook. The hook was gone. What
Yes.
made it good, even with first of all, um,
First of all.
first of all, the different levels of makeup of Nicolas Cage were awesome.
Oh yeah, man. Especially the one that his face is just hanging off with an ear and they don't even explain why.
First
It's
one, he
just
looked
like
like
what the fuck?
Darkman. He looked like Darkman to me.
Yeah,
Look at
man.
it again. He's got the cape up, and he's got that one perfectly like human ear hanging, and then drop. That was great.
Yes.
And that's what I liked about these kind of movies where it's not a low budget movie, but it's not like a Marvel movie or a
No,
Disney.
a
So
lot of
it would have been
prosthetics
all
and a lot of
it would have been
physical
all yeah,
effects.
it would have been all CG in another movie, and it wouldn't look cool. But Nicolas Cage is like, yeah, I want all that in me.
For sure. I guarantee you
Like the
that
teeth.
the majority of that was all him.
He loved it because
All him.
there was parts where the teeth were very obvious and in the way of him talking. And I said he must have wanted the teeth because there's parts where
Yeah.
he's talking and he's like, and it sounds
You
like
know,
Cage with a face mask on.
funny that you say that. Yeah, there's scenes where it's obvious that the
Yeah.
teeth prosthetics are, which I'm surprised they didn't go in ADR and like
Yeah, I
redub
was gonna thinking, well, maybe that was his ADR. He probably put the teeth in the ADR room. You know how it is. Who's gonna
it.
do it the same? It's gonna sound the same.
Maybe, man. Knowing
But
him, maybe.
he was good. He was good, Nicolas Cage. He
By,
reminded
by
me
the
of
way, by the way, it's the unbearable weight of massive talent.
that's what it is. It's one of those like the birds of prey long thing. Those titles
Hmm.
are very long and no one ever says it.
Hmm.
But his performance, I know this sounds strange. I mean, I guess it does, but it reminded me of fucking Skeletor in Masters of the Universe, where you have
Okay.
like Frank Langella, who is like a real actor. And
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, yeah, he does bullshit, but he's an actor. He was
No, Nick Cage does bullshit for the love of acting and
for
for the
money,
need
and
of
then
money.
yeah, he married Elvis's daughter. He's broke, whatever. But he can act. We know that, and he's doing it. And it's like it's a great actor doing it. And he knows that he can do it better, maybe if he wanted to. But he's milking every move. He loved it. That scene where he's like stage 2, I think, and he's drinking the cup of like eyeballs and blood. And the way
Yeah.
he does it, you can tell he's relishing it, everything. And the director's probably like, yeah, do whatever you want. We're okay.
Almost every long dialogue scene that he had, I'm telling you right now, you can tell that it was Nick Cage just going ham. I want to know how many outtakes they must have of that guy going just fucking bananas and all these like epic speeches that he has,
Yeah,
or
and
like
saying
screaming at Renfield and going. If you notice, he does his own variation of Dracula, obviously, but he takes little bits of every other Dracula movie. So there's parts of him where you'll be walking and he purposefully walks like either A, Nosferatu, the
Yeah.
old black and white film, or B, he tries to do
Bela Lugosi, right?
Bela Lugosi. And there's even some scenes where they do it in black. I mean, you know what? Honestly, one of the best fucking things about this movie is
The black and
the end
white stuff in the
credits.
beginning.
The end credits were incredible, and they redid shots of the Bela Lugosi Dracula with
Oh
Nick
man,
Cage.
I think I missed that. I think I stopped it.
Oh man, you gotta go. I watched the entire credit sequence in awe because I was like,
Oh, I
if they
missed.
would have made the movie more in tone of the fucking credits at the end, it would have been Chef's Kiss. That would have been the movie I hoped it was.
That probably was the pitch to get it done. You never know.
Oh yeah, maybe, maybe.
You know what the problem is? Every movie has end credit scene. So it ended, and I went to do something else, and then I heard music and I saw stuff, but I just assumed it was just images. Like the regular ending where they just show like
Oh
objects.
no, it's like a long ass like collage of like random scenes and like still frames,
Oh,
a
they should
bunch
have
of
added
still.
him into every. Did they add him into like every Dracula movie? That would have been great.
No, they don't,
That
but
would have been
they
good if it had the
almost
money.
mimic it.
Oh, okay.
There's a part where it's his face black and white, and they made him do the same movements as the Bela Lugosi shots. They did it on purpose, and it he almost looks like Bela Lugosi. It's crazy. I'm like,
In
damn.
in the intro scene, the beginning scene when they show the black and white stuff, there's one shot. I think it's straight up ripping off Bela Lugosi, where he's looking up with the candle flickering.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I said. And then I was
yeah.
watching it, and then I was like, oh, they're. I couldn't even tell if they're using footage from the movie because I don't know the old one so well. It was really
Mhm.
well done. And I thought, oh, are they putting him into the old movie or are they just showing a flashback in the style of an old movie? So I wasn't sure. But there
Yeah,
was a couple shots like that one. I think I've seen in every documentary. The Bela Lugosi looking up with the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So in the end credits, they take a lot of those stuff, like little stills and clips from the beginning of the movie, but they add a bunch of other shit that you could tell were outtakes or things that they didn't use
oh, I want
for
to see
a lot of those scenes, and they made like the credits over it. And I was like, wow, that was fucking one of the best things I saw. I was like, damn, if they would have nailed the movie more than that, cut out all that bullshit subplot that was unnecessary and it just took away from Dracula. Like, another scene that honestly, we'll go back and kind of give an overall plot synopsis of what happens in a minute. But there's one particular scene that is what threw me off. And I was like, I don't know. This movie doesn't know what it wants to be. And it's that whole motel chase sequence
I know
where they're
exactly
just
what you're talking
killing all
about.
the cops and they're piling them up and I'm like, what is this? This doesn't make sense. The vibe doesn't match with the rest of the movie. It's just it felt like a different director did pickup shots and made his own short film and they put it in the middle. It was weird. I don't know.
That particular scene, I agree with you. That was right before I kind of like I was like, oh, the movie lost me. I'm still watching it. I'm not mad or anything, but it kind of lost me. That
Yeah.
scene. Okay, well, and I think it bleeds into something I'm gonna say is one of the movies that reminded me of all the fight scenes, like the first time Renfield fights. Obviously, you don't expect it to be that way.
Right.
Super, obviously
Super stylized, slow
super style. It
mo.
reminded me of like Kingsman, where it's
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
violent and super cool. Like everything post Matrix, where it's like everything's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
kinetic.
Slow down, speed up, slow down.
Yeah, yeah. At first I was like, huh, okay, they're doing this, and then okay, he gets power from the bugs.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But when it got to the motel scene, he was so powerful. I like when he busted into just eating the kid's ants. That was funny.
Yeah.
I like how they set that up. The
Yeah. Yeah.
setups. I like how when they have the montage like Spider-Man 2 where he's becoming like a regular person. He comes
Mm-hmm.
to his apartment and the mat says, "Welcome, come on in."
Yes.
How
And
he
he's
got
like,
it. I like that
fuck.
vampire vibe, the
Yeah.
Lost Boys, classic. And then later on, the AA guy goes, "Come on in," and they do it again. Then no,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
the scene was one. He was super. He was too powerful.
Overpower.
it was
overpowered.
it had good things like when he threw. I've never seen a guy throw hands and stab people before.
Oh yeah, he's spearing them with you.
But that part when he fell down and smashed the guy in half and blood splashed up and there was nothing on him, and then she came down and she was making a joke that wasn't that good. I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Now that being said, the one kill that I was like, oh, that was good, wasn't he ripped the guy's face off? The SWAT team guy. He grabs him by the mask and he rips his face off, and it was all prosthetics. And I was like, oh, that was good.
Yeah, they
That
had
was
really
good.
good bloody stuff. I mean, a lot of that obviously I'm pretty sure was CGI blood.
CG, yeah. You
And
could tell too because there's so much CG blood going everywhere, and then when they cut to the actors, there's no splattering on them. It's like
yeah, and
they forgot to like.
I'm not sold on the CG blood yet.
No, I'm never gonna be
If
sold on the
it's
CG blood.
something like a head exploding or someone exploding, like, okay. But when it's gunshots and when it's just stab wounds, it
No,
makes
man.
it makes it
No, it has to be physical. You got to get Tom Savini or somebody newer into the game of that type of shit. Because how many years of them pushing CG blood because it's cheaper has been going on, and it just looks like shit now. In the beginning, it was okay because we were new to it, and it was like, oh, I guess it's cool.
it's
Nah,
cool. Yeah, we
I
we,
hate
we
it
would
now.
love to do that when you have a lower budget, right? Because
Exactly, exactly.
squib stuff is you have to do it right. We've tried everyone, any film school person or low budget person tries to do the films the squibs, it never looks good.
Yeah.
But
So I mean,
you can do both. You can do some of that real and enhance it or something, but when they go full blood everywhere,
that's also
yeah,
I would say that's also depending on the director.
yeah,
Like if it's a director that really is like, no, I have a vision and it has to be like legit. We're gonna do old school shit. It'll be old school. But if it's a director that doesn't care and he needs it fast because he needs his other things going on, this is what you get. You get a hodgepodge. It feels like I said, it feels like two movies in one. Like there's many ideas that are amazing, and then half of it is trash. So the sad part is that there's so much like how you would say there's like such good bones to the structure of this house, and they just like put the cheap plaster on it. You know what I mean? So like I said, I love the Dracula and Renfield backstory. I love the idea of them trying to survive in modern day times with like modern society, uh, modern media, how violent the streets are compared to when they were like,
yeah, yeah.
back in the, and I love the whole comedic twist of like the AA meeting groups and shit.
Yeah, that was good.
That's
That
genius.
was the good dark humor. But there should
You
have
can
been more. I mean, maybe it was a scheduling issue with him, but with Nicolas Cage, I mean. But there should have been more of him like walking around modern day and like having fun with it. You
oh
know?
yeah, man. They could have
'Cause
gone nuts with that.
yeah, because there was a scene where he goes, "Oh," he tells in one scene, he's like, "Oh, modern day is different. You don't understand, you know? Like to find
Yeah.
people is different." He should have had scenes where he's like going into a bar, a nightclub, or like an Uber and not understanding it.
There's the that simple idea is more than enough to fill an hour and a half up. Bro, I can write a script with just that premise and come up with enough fucked up and hilarious situations that these two can be getting into.
Yes. It's almost like getting a historical character in modern day. Remember that short film we saw on a DVD in a magazine called Jesus? It was Jesus
Yeah, with the Air Jesus sandals and stuff.
Jesus comeback, and it was Jesus modern day, and they were all pitching him Nike, and they were making him like a star. Yeah, something like that would have been a great, like just a montage. That would have helped the movie, I think.
But they had to shoehorn a subplot of not only pointless characters, but annoying. They're so fucking over the top and badly acted. That main guy of the family, I could not stand that guy. Every
Oh,
time he was on screen, I was like, "Oh God,
oh, you mean the Teddy, the son, the
the
guy,
son, God, he's
yeah,
horrible. That
the
guy was horrible."
bootleg Andrew Garfield.
Yes, bootleg Andrew Garfield. He was horrendous. The whole stereotypical over Italianized like family in the Gotti. Like, where do they live? It looks like they lived in a government building in the middle of the city.
Yes, that's why at first I was like, I don't know where they're going with this mafia thing. but I thought it was gonna be like they were not just mafia, that they were like werewolves, or they were like
Something supernatural.
they were like, some sort of secret cult that's trying to.
That whole mafia, super stylized mafia with that building and stuff almost felt like Mystery Men. I don't know
Okay,
if that
I
makes
see what you
sense
mean.
to you. Where like every bad guy was like super stylized and over exaggerated. And it did not fit the world that the movie was. Like it was so odd. And if you tell me, well, it was fun though, whatever, it's a Nick Cage Dracula movie. But it was the worst part of the movie. It was so stupid. It's as stupid as I'm making it sound. So I mean, if you want, just so that we can kind of do a quick synopsis of the whole plot of this movie for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, it's basically starts off in the past. It's kind of like black and white and stuff, and then it shows you like the precursor and the history of Dracula and Renfield. Renfield as a real estate agent trying to make a big deal with Count Dracula. All of this is like actually the story of Dracula. Nothing new here.
Hmm.
And then it kind of like flash forwards to modern day, and Nicholas Holt is kind of like miserable. He's sort of a caretaker. Dracula lives like in an underground, like subway type of corridor, right? And he's basically just trying to survive.
No, I think in modern day, I think they weren't. No, I think they were like. Wasn't he like in an abandoned hotel where he was dragging in the bodies? It was
It
like a
might have
basement of
been.
a
It might have.
hotel.
It
Yeah,
was an abandoned structure of some
yeah, it
kind.
was some sort of like underground thing.
And the way they're living now is basically Nicholas Holt goes out into society, bars or whatever. He tries to find victims to take back to like sustain him. He's all fucked up and like decrepit, and he's kind of like Michael Myers in the last movie, living
And I'm
in the
guessing it takes
sewers
a long. I'm guessing it takes a long time because
to regenerate.
when they
He's just
show,
not getting enough.
yeah, it takes a
That's
long
why he's
time.
always fighting with him because he's like, you don't bring me good quality shit.
Yeah, he's eating shitty food. Okay, that's funny too. But I I assume that that whole prequel, not the black and white stuff, but where he like breaks the circle and saves him,
Oh yeah,
that was like Van Helsing times.
yes.
So I don't know if that this whole time he's been regenerating or we just skipped some stuff. I assumed it was been taking like 200 years to get to that
Oh
point.
yeah, no. He's been under like he's
Yeah,
been like just surviving for 200 years, getting his ass kicked
and I
and
like that
regenerating and
because nothing like this movie, but Interview with the Vampire. Do you remember? There is a
sure.
scene where Tom Cruise, they think they killed him, and for like 100 years he was like living off alligator blood. But when they
Yeah,
see
he's
him
living in
again,
that abandoned house.
yeah, he's like regenerating and he looks like a zombie.
Yeah.
So that was
See,
cool.
if the movie would have done a long like
Yes,
had
they
the
should,
opening scene and then just do a long montage through time,
yes, they
through
should have done
time
more.
periods. I think that would have
Yeah, it went too fast.
it
That's
just
why Fight
jumps.
Club was so good. Fight Club did a lot of all that beginning until it got to the point.
Right. I
And
feel like a
could have done
movie
more.
that tries to be so visual like this one, if they would have done an amazing montage of different
What's
time
leading?
periods,
Yeah.
different cool shots of just different crazy shit in different time periods, leading to, and it just cuts up, boom, modern day, right?
Yes,
And it has Nicholas
they
Holt
could even
in an
done
AA meeting.
they could have done him talking in a meeting and showing like different different like decades, different centuries and doing
Right, right. So basically, this movie jumps to modern day. Nicholas Holt is miserable. He's like going to bars and he's looking for random people that he can possibly take back and feed to his
what
master.
a bus full of cheerleaders.
A bus full of cheerleaders.
Which I think there's a shot where they show a cheerleader, right?
Oh no, no.
There was a
After he
part when
tells him all of that, like a scene or two later,
yeah,
he's at a bar, and all the
they come in.
everything he says happens outside the window. A
No,
bus of cheerleader drives by, and I think a bunch of priests or something. I
no,
don't remember
they
what.
come in, but there's a part a few scenes later they show I think a cheerleader like when the mafia comes in, there's a pile of dead bodies. I think it was the cheerleaders. Did you notice
Oh,
that?
maybe I don't
It
remember.
was a pile of dead bodies, and they had like it was the cheerleaders with the green outfit. It was a
Mm.
cheerleader, so I guess they insinuate that he got it.
So basically, now it just showing you that he's pretty much just here to feed him, you know, and he's tired of it. It's been decades and decades of this shit. And Nicolas Cage is actually a very angry person with him because he's not bringing him the shit that he needs so that he can fully regenerate. And like he says, so he can take over the world, basically, you know?
Yeah, I
He
like
has
that
like
plot. I like when he goes, I want to take over the world. I figured it out, like a James Bond movie.
he has like the board with the little ropes and shit with how he's gonna take over. And I love at the middle, it says like world domination. It has like a giant like
Sign.
mansion or something. It
A
says
wooden sign.
world domination, and then like in crayon, really small, right at the bottom, with Renfield.
Oh, I noticed that. Yeah, it has the little strings and it has like a picture of the White House, a black and
Yeah.
white picture of the White House. And I like the scene. I think it's when he's looking like Dark Man, where he's like hinting that he doesn't want to do it anymore, and he just cuts his guts again
Mm-hmm.
and gives him the blood, and it all gets sucked in. That was good. It looked
Yeah.
like it had a real thing that they just sucked in. It didn't look
Yeah,
CG.
yeah. No, that's actually prosthetics. That's
Yeah,
why it drives me nuts. They have a lot of prosthetic scenes and then they have a lot of bullshit CGI scenes. And I'm like, fuck, make up your mind.
it went in and it was good. I like that. I like that whole thing, and the dialogue was good with the whole thing of no copay unless you consider my soul. That felt
Yeah,
very.
yeah, yeah.
It felt very like clever.
But then
But
this is where the movie starts to fall apart. They introduce Aquafina, who's a cop working in a precinct full of corruption,
the most
and her
the most
back's.
the most unreal. Her and her partner seem like total movie cops.
Oh yeah,
They
man.
don't look. They look like something from like a Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's garbage.
what's going on? Like Superbad or like a Seth Rogen movie where they're like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
what's going on? Yeah.
And the whole backstory is that her dad was like a hero in the precinct and he got murdered. And she's
Yes.
trying to find out who murdered her dad, and her
Yeah.
sister
I've
is
never
also
heard
a
that
cop.
before.
And I'm like,
I was like, am I watching Rush Hour? What's going on?
oh my God. And
You
that's
know what they
when,
should have done? Well, I'll say that for when you ask me what they should have done. But yeah, I'm familiar with Aquafina. I agree with you. She shouldn't have been in the movie, but my initial reaction was not maybe yours because I've seen her a lot lately.
a
Uh,
lot.
a lot. I know she's in. I didn't. She's the voice of one of the characters in Little Mermaid now.
Yeah, she's the bird.
The
She's in
bird.
Crazy Rich Asians. She's
She
in,
was in
what's that Marvel movie?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
She was
She's
in
in,
Ocean's 11, the new one, the one.
yeah, yeah.
And
Like,
she's the voice of the dragon in this Netflix movie that my son watches all the time called The Last Dragon, which the
uh-huh.
movie's pretty good. But she's the voice of the dragon, but she doesn't really speak till like the end, so she's not really in it.
Okay.
But but yeah, she didn't. She
Every once in a while, Hollywood has these types of actors that they try so hard to make a thing and they go out of their way to put that actor in every possible fucking media, whether it's animated, commercial, every other movie. And you're like, how and why?
doesn't work, and they get it. Yeah, it could
Do
be a
they have something on these producers that they get this type of like,
every person, like the guy, like remember the John Carter guy was everywhere. Remember him?
yes,
Battleship, John Carter. He was in every movie, and then they realized, oh, all his
shit.
movies bombed.
No, he got into huge accusations and now he just got cleared. If I'm talking about the same guy, he has a crazy name. The guy that played um
Are we talking about the same guy?
fuck.
He was in
Army
Friday Night Lights.
Army something?
No, not Chris D'Elia.
No, 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 no. Hold on. I'll tell you right now who I'm talking about. He was with Johnny Depp as Tonto.
No, not him. I know you're talking about. That's the guy that was in the Facebook movie.
Yes, he played the twins.
Yes, yes. No, 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 not him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He got in big shit, and he was a big part of that Death in the Nile movie, and they had to like they couldn't cut him out because he was a big deal. Army Hammer, not him.
Army Hammer.
He
There we
was,
go.
he was one of those guys that they would throw him in. You're like, why is he in this movie? But the John Carter guy looks like him, like a white guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That
Yeah, we
happened
get like these random actors. It happens like it seems like it happens
for a
every
couple
10
years,
years.
and then they fade out and they stick. Like the new one now is Ana de Armas and everything. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
Like
she's not a great actress. She's just amazing to look at. That's
That's
a
what I'm saying.
smoke show
She's in
right
it for
there.
a bit.
I don't mind it. You can put her in everything. I got no problem with that, bro.
She's one of them. Margot Robbie, I thought for a while, but she seems to be sticking in there.
Actually, me and Dina, we have our pact. That's my one cheat. If it ever could happen, it's her. So
Your hall pass.
that's my hall pass right there.
But they do that with kids. You notice when you watch movies, little kids, they'll have
Oh yeah, while they're cute, they're hot, and they use them the
there's
shit
a
out of them.
kid that's in every movie and then
Like the
disappears.
Stranger Kid, like the Stranger Thing kids, bro. They'll forget it.
Yeah. Well, they kind of actually did better than some. You see some movies like, yeah, I remember that kid was in everything, and then they get to a certain age and then they dump out. But
Yeah, exactly. It
so the
happens. Yeah,
mafia stuff
they
comes
become
in.
fucking crackheads and shit.
Now the guy you don't like, the very first shot of him, I was cracking up because it reminded me of something that we would have done in the old days. Do you remember? The first shot of him is like doing a line of coke in that
In the car.
the Charlie goes, God damn! The camera zooms
Yeah.
in, and I thought he was just gonna be in that scene, and I recognize him.
Yeah, I've seen him in other shit before. He's in.
He's on
He's
that
not
show
new.
Parks and Rec, and he's in stuff. Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
like a comedy guy, but he's not
The voice
fucking
of
funny.
he's the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, I think. That
Oh
guy.
wow, wonderful, wonderful.
So
Yeah,
I
why
saw
would
him
you
and I
even
was like,
know
oh,
that?
I know this guy. He's I've seen him before in little smidgets, but when I realized, oh, this guy's gonna be in the whole movie, it kind of threw it out. Aquafina, him, the lady who plays the mom. I've seen her. She was being 24, but I didn't like the whole mafia vibe. Seemed very a movie car. It seemed like a kick-ass, like a fake mafia. They should have done. I'm gonna skip to it. Don't ask me because we're talking about it.
Go
What
for
they
it.
should have done. They should have kept all the Renfield stuff the same. They should have done all the police stuff in a serious tone to contradict the movie. That would have been funny. They should have been like like one big actor in it to complement Nicolas Cage. You know, like a like what's his name? William Dafoe. You know, some actor in it to be the police cat. All the police stuff seemed like Brooklyn
You
Nine Nine.
what you want is Boondock Saints. You want William Dafoe to show up
Well,
and be
maybe
like,
not that. Like, yeah, but like all the police scenes look like look like a Brooklyn Nine Nine. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, CSI has better. You know, it just didn't feel real.
because the director thought these people are hilarious. Aquafina's hilarious. There's going to be a great blend with the Renfield Dracula stuff and the funny, hilarious police scenes. And it's like, A, they're not funny. B, they're so poorly written. And D, it detracts and makes you forget what this movie is even about. And I don't know how, as a director, when you shoot everything and you have different editors cutting it together and you sit there and you watch the dailies and the rough cuts or whatever, and you start seeing when these two different halves are being intercut, how you can't say, hey, this is not vibing. This is killing the mood of the movie. It's called Renfield. It's starring Nicolas Cage. It's about fucking Dracula. At what point did this movie become an Aquafina vehicle about her fucking sister and dad and the police corruption? Why? Why? Like we said before, you tell me that we have Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult, who's a huge up and timing, like he's coming up, believe it or not, he almost became Batman. It was between him
Patterson guy.
and Pattinson. Exactly. It was between them two. It was very close.
Oh yeah, he's good, and he's not. I mean, he's a kid, but I think he's like 30 already.
No, he's not a kid. He's already a young man, bro. But
Yeah,
I mean, you have the star power, you have a decent budget, and you're doing a fucking Dracula movie when everybody's trying so badly to reboot the Universal Monster stuff, and they cannot do it right because they keep doing things like let's throw in Tom Cruise and make it a modern Mission Impossible blend with heart. Bro, stick to the basics. Why are these movies timeless and why are they still relevant? Why do people still go back to the iconicness of it and all that? Because they're perfect. They're a thing on their own. You guys try to make it your own by putting a whole twist on the genre, which is fine. One of the best genres that are the hardest to do are horror comedies. Horror comedies.
Horror comedies are very hard.
Yes. When you pull it off, they become
like
forever.
That is one that I think.
Yeah.
That
They
was great.
become the most quotable, timeless films that people love. But then the big mistake is that they try to start fucking adding action sequences and over convoluted backstories to nonsense characters that you don't give a fuck about. The movie's called Renfield. You don't give a fuck about gangsters. You want to focus on Nicolas Cage as Dracula and Renfield and everything they're doing and whatever characters they interact with. When you leave them for large portions of time to follow Aquafina doing bullshit gumshoe work that is not even believable because she's a goddamn horrible fucking actor. It fucking drives me nuts, bro. I'm like, dude, let me direct that shit. You guys are fucking idiots. What are you doing? Like, I'm sure when you watch movies sometimes you must bang your head because you're like, bro, I could do this so much better.
Yeah,
If you
totally.
give me
You're like,
these
what?
toys to play with, I will blow you away, bro. Fuck. It pisses me off.
All the mafia stuff. It comes in earlier, but then, like you said, it becomes a big part of the movie. And then I expected like some sort of twist because there was a scene when they were talking to the mom or somebody, and they had like scans of Dracula, and I'm like, oh, Lobo, Wolf. Maybe they're doing some sort of. And
It
I'm like,
almost
well,
felt
that's
like they wanted to do
like that's
that.
easy, but why not? And then it didn't happen. I was like, oh, they're just gangsters.
Yeah.
Well, and then of course the Teddy, he gets superpowers, right? He becomes like Dracula, like kind of punches him.
Dracula Light.
Renfield, yeah. Just to have the big fight at the end when they're flipping around, flying around, and all that stuff. But
Okay.
I did like effects wise. The effects were not bad, except for the CG blood when he would bust into smoke. It was cartoony, but it looked pretty good. It reminded me a little bit of Van Helsing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And then the
fine.
bat stuff was good, and then the teleporting and everything like that. That was good. Oh, something that came up. I'm not a nitpicker, but that scene where he turns into bats. How the fuck did he get to the AA meeting before Dracula? What was Dracula doing while he was flying? Dracula leaves the castle with as bats to go
Uh-huh.
to the church. Remember?
Yes.
And then he gets there before Dracula. So maybe he went to change, maybe he was messing around, but that was the only thing that I was like, what? I thought there
End
was more
credits.
scene.
The end credits should have had a short film of what
But he
happened to
didn't.
him on the way over.
That's why you do the montage, him going to Starbucks, him seeing a red light. Oh,
Something.
they should have had him smacking into the plane that fell into the Hudson. Oh, sorry.
Something funny. But you imagine all the shit that you could have done with this
Of the
movie?
Flash. My thought is he's so fast, he did whatever he wanted and then got there right when he wanted, you know?
A movie like that, if you do it the right way, at the end of it, when you're like, and you're like watching the rough cuts, and you're like, you know what? I'm super happy with my product, but there's a few things that don't make sense, like that. How did he get there before that? You know what we're
Put
gonna
in the
do?
credits. Yeah, put in the
In
credits.
the end credits, we're gonna add a hilarious short film, like a short, like minute and a half
Yeah.
scene of just showing him replaying that scene so people know
Yeah.
what we're doing,
And
and then showing what happened to him.
yeah, and they could like, if you want to be hip, you can just make it like a cell phone video of like a 7-Eleven of someone filming him coming in. He comes in, he's trying to work the slushing machine.
Yes, bro.
He's like,
Yes.
what is this? A hot dog, bro, nachos, what? And some guy's like, hey man, can you get out the way? I'm trying to get my lottery tickets. And he's like, huh? And then he kills everybody and the cell phone falls.
It would be your own version of T2 walking into the bar.
Yeah.
Like him, a fish out of water story, but just like little tiny snippets of shit that you didn't see that makes it even funnier. It's kind of like saying like the hangover with the fucking footage at the end.
Yeah, the picture,
You
just
could do
pictures.
stuff
That'd
like
be
that.
fine. Yeah. Yeah, but that's true. That's one missing thing. They had literally, I think, zero scenes of him interacting with the real world, really, except the alien,
No,
which
he's always hiding.
he just thought it was a church, so he didn't like it. So that was it. That scene was cool though, where he's pushing him and he kills everybody as he's being pushed.
Oh yeah, he's
That
like
was
in slow
cool.
motion falling backwards, and he's just
Yeah, but it was like him on a pull. Yeah, that was just editing wise. It wasn't a special effect or anything, but that was cool.
yeah, it's a cool cut. It's a
That was
cool
the
way to
cool thing when
do
you.
a scene. Yeah, I think that all his monologue scenes are so fucking good. Just watching glorious Nick Cage be Nick Cage as Dracula, I'm like, it needed more of that. If they would have given me an hour and a half of that, this movie would have been one of my fucking go-tos for life. You know what I mean? I would
Yeah,
love it.
potential.
It's such a wasted fucking idea, and it pisses me off. And I know that they ended in a way where it's always open for a sequel with the whole they chopped them up to oblivion.
And they
But
put
then
him in,
at the end,
yeah. And they put him in cement cubes. Yeah, yeah. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't know how well it did.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know either, but we'll see. We'll see. But I mean that part, like the picture you have behind you when he's in that stage, like the final stage where he's just white,
yeah.
some scratches. When he turned like the I think the AA meeting when he has the hat, he turns around. There was parts where I'm watching and I'm like, this little scene feels like something from like one of the Grindhouse trailers, you know, like when he popped up in Rob Zombies as Fu Manchu. I
Yes.
was thinking about that. This is great. This is awesome. Like such a good idea.
Dude, I forgot about
They
that.
must. I would love to have been on the set when they were filming all his scenes in the makeup, especially because you know he's loving it, and you know Nicolas Cage is sitting there for hours just looking around trying to figure out what to do. It's like, oh, I like this flap, you know. It was crazy. Oh, I liked when he cut his artery, and that was a cool little insert shot when he cuts his artery and pours the blood on him.
Oh yeah, it's like black, nasty looking blood. Bro, I totally forgot that Nick Cage played Fu
Yes,
Man.
and that's it. And he goes, and Nicolas Cage as Fu Manchu, and he turns around and he goes, ha 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 ha.
I'm looking at the stills right now,
Look
bro.
it
I'm
up.
like,
It's
this
great.
is.
Remember we were cracking up. Just click that
Oh my god,
and Nicolas Cage as Fu Manchu.
bro.
Speaking
Nicolas
of
Cage,
Nicolas
man.
Cage, like toward the end, there's a movie he did. I'm sure you heard of it. That it's like bad movie grindhouse. I've seen pieces of it. Drive Angry. You heard of this crap?
I never seen it. I've seen so many stills of it, but I never seen it.
You gotta want. It's like a TNT at night afternoon movie. It's bad, but it's grindhouse bad.
Yeah,
And then the bad guy is the guy from William Fichtner. You know that guy, the guy from Armageddon,
yeah.
and he's basically like the devil, but he acts like the T-1000. The whole movie's them being chased, and it's like a grindhouse movie where it's Nicolas Cage with that fake long hair wig, and Amber Heard is in it. But I just
Really?
pieces of it, and it was like, oh my, it was trash, but like kind of like Rob Zombie time of trash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh. Did you like in this movie the like I guess you call it cinematography or the way it looked? It was very colorful in especially the first half.
Yeah.
I like the layer. There was the layer, like the main layer where Dracula is, where it looked like were they like cups or chalices or something? There was something like there, reminding me a little bit of Blade 2 with the
The
vampire
doors.
lord,
Yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah.
vampire guy and a little layer and everything like that.
Yeah, the look of the film didn't bother me because it was kind of like it's ultra violent and it tries to be very modern.
Yeah,
So the colors and stuff, yeah, it's fine. The look didn't bother me.
that was good.
It just suffers from story and plot and bad script writing, unfortunately. It's like a lost they had so much potential that was lost there that it's just like, damn. That's what makes me like really mad about this movie is that there's parts of this movie that I love, and then there's so many parts that I fucking cringe, and it's like I was so looking forward to this, and it's like, damn it, it didn't completely let me
Oh
down,
yeah, but it
but
could have been
it didn't
better.
give me the high I was looking for.
And in the beginning, in the first, when Nicolas Cage, his first scene, not the black and white stuff, but when he started talking, I was like, in the beginning, I was like, okay, this is like a toned down Nicolas Cage, but then every once in a while he would do his little
Oh,
ah yeah. He would do his little thing, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
He's like his speeches, like when he goes to the AA meeting to kill everybody and shit, where he's just
Yeah.
floating, and his epic monologues and shit is just like they probably told him like this is the lines, and he fucking was like, I kind of get the idea, and he just fucking did Nick Cage things. You know what I mean? It's just like let him go off, keep the cameras rolling.
And another thing that I didn't think of initially, but now that I think about it, they kind of like his defeat was kind of like a little lackluster. They just entrapped him and then just beat the shit out of him. As they should, he should have had a better fight
They
somehow.
put they put that little they planted that little seed early in the movie
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so that later on they can use it again, and it's like
It
that's
has a lot,
lame.
and it has a lot of like, I guess because we're getting older, unfortunately we are, but there's a lot of jokes in there that you're kind of like a little juvenile. Like there's a lot of cocaine jokes in this movie, with the cocaine
Mm,
bags and the cocaine and like, okay, we get it, cocaine, yeah.
yeah,
A little bit like trying on purpose to be like edgy for a teenager, Ooh, there's
yeah,
sharks in the movie.
yeah.
They shouldn't have been doing drugs. They shouldn't have had cocaine. If you're gonna do the mafia thing, it should have been like you mentioned the word familiar. It should have been more like the original Blade, where they're kind of involved in the vampire underworld. Maybe I don't know. Like it should have been related to Dracula.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have just been like, oh. And honestly,
When they first introduce him to the mother,
yeah,
she looks at him. Not on, yeah, she looks at him with like almost like lust. But for a second there, when she sees him, I thought, holy shit, there's gonna be a backstory.
yeah.
They know each other. And nothing. I'm like, fucking stupid, pointless
And
shit.
I think that would
Nothing.
work fine in this movie because if Dracula's alive and there's like
Anything goes.
whatever Renfield is, part of like eating bugs, you're doing
Yeah.
supernatural. Just throw in like, oh, there's
Everything.
werewolves too, or
Everything.
Amulet or Van Helsing, or maybe she's like long lost, something to do with Dracula would have made it feel like a Dracula movie, right? Because there's tons.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen all the Dracula movies, the old ones at all, but there's the Bela Lugosi ones, and there's the ones in the '70s with
The horror,
Christopher
the Hammer
Lee.
films.
Yeah, and like I was looking at that, and at one part I was watching the movie. I go, okay, I think they're trying. I think maybe they're doing a modern version of like the Dracula sequels, where Dracula comes back and he's like a secondary character, and he has to do something crazy, and maybe they're modernizing it, and maybe that's what they were doing. But I think they could have
I
done.
don't know. I don't know. I feel like you said they have the whole Lobos thing.
Yeah,
Like they set it all up so that it could possibly be that, and then they never touched it. They never even hinted at it again, and it was like, wah.
or do something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like they're taking characters from the original story, like Renfield and Dracula, and the fact that he's like even I mean, obviously in the Bram Stoker story and the movie, they did similar things where he has to get the Earth to regenerate.
Yeah,
I think Renfield was already crazy in the Bram Stoker one, right? Was that him in the prison?
yeah.
And Keanu Reeves was like kind of like the new version of him. They should have brought in more characters from the novel. If they're, I mean, you're calling the movie Renfield, you're assuming people even gonna know what that means. Bring in like obviously Van Helsing, everyone's gonna expect like bring in
You know what? You could have
bring in
said
his
instead of
girlfriend,
Aquafina, you could have said the
reincarnated
cop is
girlfriend.
a relative of the Van Helsing line,
Yeah.
which would give him more reason to be in this story. But they don't even try. It's like just nonsense. It's like a cop
Well,
drama
try to
that
bring in the
script that they
love
blended
story
in with this.
angle. It would be great to see Nicolas Cage like that, like awkwardly in love with somebody. Like I don't mean I love. I mean bring in like the character from the book, the Nina, like a reincarnation of her,
Yeah, something.
something. And then you know what I thought was gonna happen, and actually I wish it did. I thought there was gonna be a love story. I thought he was gonna fall in love with somebody from the AA meeting, like the short-haired girl. They keep showing her a lot. I love how he always interrupts her. That was a funny little running
Mhm.
gag.
Yeah.
I thought there was gonna be, I guess, because at Fight Club, I was thinking of some sort of like interaction with the people there, and he's gonna not want to be Renfield because of a girl, like the other Nicholas Holt movie that he's a zombie. Remember that
He's
movie,
a zombie. Yeah.
Warm Bodies, which was kind of like a similar type of
That
movie.
movie's good.
Like the
That
concept,
movie's good.
yes. I thought there was gonna be some of that. I thought he was gonna do all this for a girl, which kind of is cheesy, but it kind of makes more sense. But the
I
whole
think they should
cop
have gotten the
thing,
director of that to maybe have done this fucking movie.
yeah, I mean, maybe there was the cop and him were supposed to do something, and people was like, no, it's not gonna happen. Because that first scene when they try to really pump that scene where he saves her, they try to pump like, oh, he respects her, and then she thinks he's different. They really pump that, oh, I like you kind of thing, and it
Hmm.
really doesn't really go anywhere. And
They
then
have no chemistry. They don't even.
and the problem with her is most of those times when you have a stand-up comic in a movie, most of the time, not counting Robin Williams and a handful of others, but they go into like a shtick. Even Chris Rock in Lethal Weapon, that whole scene, oh, the phone. They're going on a thing and like, oh, they have
It's
to do the
them being
banter.
themselves. It's Aquafina in every fucking movie. It's not like she brings anything to the table. It's just her trying to be awkward and loud and annoying. It's like stupid. It kills it.
You know what I don't think is funny, which I think a lot of movies do now, when the joke is pointing out obvious things that just happen. You know what I'm talking about? When they go, oh my God, did you just do that? Did you just pick that up? Did you just do
Yeah.
that's
Did
the
you just
joke.
kill 19 guys with,
Yeah.
it's like,
Like,
okay.
you know what I mean? Like when they have to, like little pet peeves in movies when it's hard to explain. Like when something like in movies when when the character says something that that, oh, they just added that because people are stupid, they're not gonna get it. It doesn't feel realistic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
oh my God, I like that's what it feels like to me when someone goes, oh, it's going like Ghostbusters, the 2016 one. Remember, all of it was just them commenting on what just happened, and they would go on banters like that. Remember? It's
I erased that movie from my mind. I don't know what you're talking about.
well, well,
Movie
if you
doesn't
guys don't know what we're
exist.
talking about, check out our review in our old channel, Ghostbusters review. It's still up there. It's actually really good, even though we did it in a car. It
Backseat reviews.
it actually was one of our best reviews, I think.
We were all with the shittiest face.
So okay, so I think we're pretty much in agreement. Um,
Yeah.
Initially, I was like not sure. I was engaged. It was a point where I was like, oh, this is actually might be really good. And then I was like, eh. And then it was like, oh, how much is left? And I hate when I look at a movie, see how much is left, because that means I'm not into it.
The kiss of death.
Like, I hate that. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm glad we saw it.
I'm glad we saw it.
I've been wanting to see it, you know. Like I said, what makes me angry is that it's such potential with Nick Cage and wasted. It's like you have Nick Cage as Dracula. It may not happen again. What are you doing? It's like, ugh.
Yeah, man. But unfortunately, that happens a lot. A lot of movies and TV shows, the first episode is good, the hook is good, and then after a while, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's always been
Exactly.
that way, but I feel like it's more. I think it's because we're getting older and then we've seen shit. So we see something like, oh, they're doing this,
I've seen some shit.
and you're doing this. And then when they do something fresh, it's exciting. And then sometimes, most of the time, it doesn't do shit.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what happens. You start getting cynical and older.
well,
You've seen everything already. So like when you see other things trying to do their own thing and it doesn't work, you're like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel, bro? It's like, don't try so hard. Just let it play out. But just let Nick Cage ad lib for an hour and a half in front of the camera as Dracula. That would have been better. That would have been better. I would pay money to see that shit happily.
I mean, if Nicolas Cage just did like one of those like YouTube live streams that people do and just talk shit for an hour, I'm sure it would get millions of views.
Did you see they did a sit down interview with him? I don't know if it was 2020 or one of these stupid fucking ABC shows or whatever. And they did it in his Las Vegas mansion.
No,
It
that might
happened. It just happened like maybe 2 months ago.
no, it must have. I think it's probably promotion for that other movie he did. The last thing I saw was like a GQ interview where he's talking about all his movies, but not in his house.
No, no, no,
With
no,
the
no.
white
He did
background.
this, I think, right around the time of Renfield coming out. Um, you have to see it. His house is exactly what you would think his house is. It's toys, expensive shit everywhere, expensive cars. He has a part of the living room gated off, and he has like a giant bird that talks. It's like a black giant bird that's like rare or something. He's like, yeah, it's just fucking cool bird, man. You know, he has like a Lamborghini that's like gold or whatever. He's like, he lives in Vegas. He's like, sometimes I just drive it down the strip. It's a fucking cool car, man. He's like, it's Nick Cage. I'm like, fucking love this guy, bro. He's such a kid. He's such a fucking rich, dumbass kid. I love that guy,
But,
bro.
but, but just watching it, like he's like Jeff Goldblum and Christopher Walken. Like,
Eccentric as fuck.
I just want to watch them just like read a menu.
Yes,
I would
exactly.
watch Nicolas Cage taking a shit in the toilet just to see what he's saying. Oh God, oh, it's a big one. You know, I would watch him do anything.
I,
Not anything, but almost anything.
you imagine Nick Cage,
And
Christopher,
Christopher Walken in a movie.
just, just a
Christopher Walken
montage.
should have been Frankenstein. He comes out. These boats are killing
Holy shit. Oh, he's
me.
retired, right? Because he hasn't done anything in a long time. He's old already.
I don't know. I hope. Yeah. I mean,
He's
that,
alive. He hasn't died, but I think he's retired because he hasn't done anything in fucking years.
when it comes to like celebrity stuff, like I've been thinking about lately, maybe you have it, that we're getting to the age where like our icons are gonna start passing away. They
Oh
already
yeah,
are.
bro. Oh yeah.
You know, we got like action heroes like Arnold, Sly, all these people. Bruce Willis is in bad
You
shape.
saw Pacino just had a fucking kid?
Yes, someone told me that.
Hooah! It ain't mine.
The guy has he has black nails, but he's still having kids.
The guy looks like a fucking bridge troll, bro. What the hell happened to that guy? He doesn't bathe. He let his hair grow out. His nails. You know what he looks like? He looks like fucking Mr. Burns. What
He
happened, bro?
but he's on fire though. He made a deal with Amazon. He's gonna be Gollum in the new Lord of the Rings show. He's like, is that gold?
Holy shit.
People are gonna be saying, he's gonna be Mordor. What'd you say? Mordor? Mordor. Saruman. Al Pacino, you gotta. Is it Sauron or Saruman? Your accent, your speech pattern is very important right now.
Saruman!
You shall not pass, goddammit, on that ass.
Yeah, man.
But talking about just shit that's been out since we last talked. Have you seen anything at all?
I've seen a lot of stuff, but like I'm
I haven't seen
delayed.
it, right? No big movies, no Fast and the Furious X,
No, no, no.
no
Uh,
Little Mermaid. Are you gonna watch Transformers?
no. Actually, I want to see it.
I'm
I
gonna
want
watch it. I'll probably bootleg it on Flickster.
Yeah, I want to see it just because honestly, the last two, I didn't even, no, I'm talking shit.
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee was great. It was really good. The last two bays, I didn't even fucking watch.
No, you watch.
I can't even tell you what the fuck happens in those. I have no idea.
Yeah, the Mark Wahlberg ones.
Yeah. I'm
I
like,
remember
whatever.
the first one he did. I remember you watching it because we were, oh, man, we were at a gathering. I think it was one of Mario's ex-girlfriends or something's party. And you told me about it. You had saw it before me, and you told me about it. But the one with the medieval times shit.
The last, I didn't see it. I didn't even
Oh,
see that shit.
you don't have to see it. I mean, watch it. I think it's better than the other Mark Wahlberg one, but not by much. Dude, the opening scene is basically the opening of Gladiator. You know that battle in the forest?
Yeah, but with Nazis, right?
No.
It's medieval, and then there's like a Nazi scene.
No, the Nazi scene was in the one before.
That
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
there
Dark
is
of
a
the
Nazi
Moon.
scene. Yes, you're right. There is a quick. I'm talking about like a 2-second scene where they talk that Bumblebee was in the army. Yeah. So it's literally like that shot from the trailer. That's all they show. It's
Uh huh.
Anthony Hopkins telling him a story. Anthony Hopkins is like the head of Sector 7. Remember that organization?
Yeah.
He's like the head guy. And dude, Anthony Hopkins in it, and you can tell it's paycheck. He's
Oh, of
standing.
course, it's a fucking paycheck. Of
And then
course.
then there's a scene where he's literally standing at Stonehenge and he gets exploded. And he's a dummy and him flies. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Basically ends up Mark Wahlberg is like the descendant of like King Arthur. I'm not making this up. And then earlier in the movie, That's the one with that little girl where they try to throw in the Star Wars Ray
Oh yeah, yeah. She had like a
robot.
little transformer scooter.
Yeah, that's half the movie with her, and she
Oh
disappears.
god.
It's like two movies. Whatever. He gets his bracelet in one scene, and then the bracelet ends up being something in that one part. At the very end, when Optimus Prime turns bad, and he's fighting Bumblebee, and then and then and then his bracelet kind of transforms and turns into like a gauntlet, and then he grabs like the giant Transformer sword, and he just blocks Optimus Prime from killing Bumblebee.
He turns into Sean Connery in First Night. Yes.
No, he stops. It's just like Batman versus Superman with the Martha. He stops
Uh-huh.
and Bumblebee talks. And then Optimus Prime is like, I haven't heard your voice in years. And it's like, dude, he talked in part one. It doesn't even make sense.
But he did like radio voice or regular
No, he
voice?
talks, he talks normal, and it's a different voice.
How did he talk if he can't talk in any of the other movies?
He just starts talking. I don't remember what happens. Maybe something. It's not even the
Michael
British.
Bay does not give a fuck.
It's not even the British voice. It's like he says something. It sounds like hey, yeah. And then he goes, "Oh, he goes. I've heard that since Cybertron." He snaps out of his like hypnotized. He's getting hypnotized.
I haven't heard that since Saigon.
Bad.
Nah, the Bumblebee movie got me back because it was the most G1 80s Transformers shit that they have ever done.
The effects look great. It looked like you want to eat them. They look like toy. It looks so like real.
Shiny and like good.
And the story was simple. And then John Cena in it, kind of. But everything was fun. Hopefully, this one's the same thing. But who knows?
This one looks like crazy base style, but the reviews are coming in and they're good. They're saying it's more of a continuation of Bumblebee than it has to do retconning the base shit, which I'm like,
more Bumblebee, and it's set in the '90s, so it's gonna be all this '90s reference shit
and 90s music soundtrack, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see it. I'll see it. If they fuck it up, I'm done with Transformers fucking movies. But
have you seen what's the last Fast movie that you saw in theaters?
In theaters, I don't fucking know. I've seen the majority of them. I've seen on
Video,
TV.
yeah.
Probably the last one I saw in theaters was fucking what, part 2 or 3 in Miami.
That's part 2.
I was in college.
Yeah, back when I think I snuck you and Robert in to watch that one.
Well, they shot part of it behind our college on the Gratney.
Yeah, that was a great summer. They were shooting Too Fast, Too Furious, Bad Boys 3, and that one that Owen was in, Out of Time.
Yeah, Out of Time was being shot also a lot in the Keys and stuff, but yeah,
majority. But they had some scenes in Miami because we dropped off. Remember, we met him at the set, and he told us that Denzel Washington flipped out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Filming something. I think they were filming something in downtown Miami, a scene in the police station or something. But the new one, on Flickster, they have it on there. I clicked it. I literally scrolled down the thing to see the action scenes. I saw the ending of the movie. It's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Is that the one that they go to space?
No, that was the last one. The ending of this movie's on the Hoover Dam.
Oh wait, you're talking about the new one?
The new one, the one that's in theaters right now.
Oh, is it out already? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it came out. It didn't do good. It made 60 million opening weekend for a movie like that. That's not good. That shit.
They just announced the whole fucking Hobbs side movie. Yeah, okay.
Before they were saying this was going to be a 3-part ending of a movie.
Yeah.
They've done the part 1, part 2 before, but never a movie is so boastful to say, "Oh, we're gonna do it, but not really do it." It's so stupid. And now Vin Diesel's talking shit about Jason Momoa because Jason Momoa got all the good. Everybody that talked about the movie said that he was the best part.
Yeah, he's a great bad guy.
Vin Diesel doesn't want to work with him again or some bullshit.
So it's the whole fucking The Rock thing again?
Exactly. Now, I saw the end of Fast X. Dude, it's laughable. There is one shot I want to tell you that eventually when you see it, it made me laugh out loud like I haven't laughed in a long time. And it's not even like a stunt shot. I mean, it's part of one, but it's so overly done. They might have showed in the trailer, who cares? At the end, Vin Diesel's with his son at Hoover Dam in the middle of the dam, and then the bad guy Jason Momoa has 2 like Optimus Prime trucks driving toward him, and the remote control, and he's up above, so he's gonna smash him. So Vin Diesel does, of course, he drives off the dam, but he waits for them to blow up behind him.
So
Blows
the explosion, the cool
Yeah,
explosion.
he drives off the dam, free falls, and then lands on the side of the dam, like GoldenEye. He's driving down the dam. The fire for some reason
Coming down
goes down.
like water.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
going down instead of going up. It's going him, and he's with his kid. And then obviously, at the bottom of the dam, there's water, like a lake. So that the fire wraps around them. They go into Fight Club CG bullet time, where they're inside the car and the fire's like wrapping around them in slow motion. I'm making this up. The camera goes around them. There's glass flying. The kid's like, and he's like this. They do the Fight Club shot. They wrap around his shoulders. It turns into like a CG arm, and it goes down his biceps, and his biceps are rippling. I'm not making this up. It goes down his arm. You can see his veins, and the blood is pumping in slow motion. Boom. It goes all the way to his thumb, and he presses the NOS thing. And then it goes into the steering wheel. It goes into the engine. I would think adding nitrous oxide to that and make it worse. It goes. He drives out of the fire, straight out. They drive straight into the lake. They get out, and then it ends in a cliffhanger. Jason Momoa is like, "Oh, Plan B or something," and then there's bombs all over the dam, and they're about to go off. And it just cuts to black. That's how the movie ends.
that's how it ends. Yeah, I heard it just fucking cuts and makes no sense and it just ends. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they don't even have an ending. They're like, "Oh, we'll figure it out later."
They should have just gone all nuts. And when he hit the water so hard, he splits the ocean like Moses.
It wouldn't be that out of there. And then the end credits are like a James Bond, and it's the car sinking down in the water in slow motion. Dun 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 dun. I'm not joking. It's the car sinking in, like debris, and then like maybe it's blood coming out of the water. That's how the ending is. And then his chain is floating. I'm not making it up.
Oh God.
Like that. Remember, you saw Deadpool 2 when they had that fake James Bond intro in the beginning?
Yeah.
It was like that. It's out of hand, man.
But that's like satire for the sake of satire. This is like taking itself seriously.
Fast Furious is basically it's soap opera for guys. It is. It's big.
Oh, it's wrestling. It's wrestling
for guys.
Yeah, for sure. There's no reality. Nothing makes sense. It's just like, okay.
Dude, I saw another scene where it's kind of in the trailer. There's I don't know if it's nuclear bomb. I wasn't paying attention. There's a bomb that's rolling around in a big ball.
Yeah, it looks like a cartoon ball. It has like all it needs is a big wick.
The ball is rolling, and of course it's Rome, and there's somewhere where it's an incline, so it never stops. 20-minute action scene. They have to stop the ball in one part. Tyrese and the Asian guy drive the car to it, and they smash into it. And they're trying to slow it down with their car. It doesn't work, but they push it into the river, so it explodes, but it's not as impactful with the water. But there's a blast wave. He's running from the cops from Rome. The cop cars are flying everywhere. The blast wave just lifts him up just enough. He gets traction. He goes, but it pushes him off. Oh, right. I messed it up. Right before the ball falls in the water, how they get the ball in the water, he's driving, and there's a big construction crane on a bridge. He drives his car in the air, hits a construction crane, so it spins around 360, and the back hits the ball in the water. His car flies in the air, hits a building, drops down, and just keeps driving.
They're just playing pinball.
Runs the bomb. It's crazy.
They're just playing pinball, yeah.
It's like, it's ridiculous. Oh, and there's another scene where both cars are spinning like John Woo style. They're spinning on a highway, and then his kid jumps from the bad guy's car into his car as it's spinning. And it's just as bad as you think.
That's it. The way you described it, I don't need to see the movie anymore. I'm good.
It's bad. So I guess soon is going to be movie, right? We'll see what happens. Are you going?
I know what's going to happen.
Are you going to see it, or are you going to skip it?
Oh, I'm going to see it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to see it. I think we should see it. It is what it is, but hopefully, I don't know. We've got to do some. We'll do a review on it. I'm sure we have plenty to say when that comes out. I saw Raiders recently. I know you saw my post of the Indiana Jones. I saw Indiana Jones Part 1 in the theater.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was remastered. It looked great. Surround sound.
It sucks because you're like
this. It went by.
You're fucking yourself over. You're getting in that old school mode just to be fucking let down.
Possibly disappointed. No, yeah.
I always tell you they should have left it at Last Crusade. That was a perfect trilogy. It was amazing. They fucked it up, and now it's just gonna be more of the same Crystal Skull bullshit again. Old ass Harrison Ford being old and CGI'd, and it's like, all right, bro, it's over. It's been over.
What do you think about that? Apparently, the first like 30 minutes is CGI. You think that's going to be the best part?
No, no, because I
You're gonna get
hate
over it
that.
really quick. You're gonna get over the CGI really quick, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, it looks weird."
It's just gonna look like a giant. It's gonna be that parade chase scene that leads to the subway chase.
That
All of that is gonna be the intro. I know it is.
no,
I
no, no.
already know.
The intro is gonna be the World War II shit. Him young is the intro I heard.
Oh yeah, and it'll probably lead to the parade scene. It's gonna be like a montage.
Maybe I
At
think
least
the
that's what
parade
I'm gonna think it
happens
is.
after that after he meets Phoebe Waller Bridge. I think that's part of the chase. But I did see. I remember I sent it to you. You didn't want to see it. They did leak a big chunk of the chase in Tibet,
Oh,
Morocco.
the little mopeds.
They're in that the octopusy thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, the whole scene. That scene, I mean, in itself, it was good, but you can't judge it by that.
right.
It was good. It did look like an old Indiana Jones movie. Somewhat, obviously, there's a lot of just CG shit everywhere. But there's one part that reminded me old Indiana Jones. They're pulling up to like a car, an actual car. Indiana Jones pulls like a bad guy out of the car and he like falls out and gets run over. And it was like a long, it looks like it was a good shot.
At this point, I hope to be surprised. I really do because the reviews are already bad. It's already like leaking and everything is negative.
50%. I check often. I check today. It's 50% right now.
Yeah.
So
I have zero expectations after what they did to us last time. And now he's how much older?
he's
Which
80.
means, exactly, which means that much more CGI in the and that's already gonna kill it. What makes the original movie so good? It's legitimate action scenes. It's
Mostly real, and then you believe that he could do it.
right. What was the last movie? CGI forest jungles with monkeys that look like they belong in Mummy Returns. They're swinging through trees like Tarzan. I'm like,
I don't think they're gonna have that level here. I think they're gonna do the opposite. They're gonna Force Awakens it, where they're gonna try to make it. They're gonna try very hard to make it like the old movies, but they're probably gonna add the CG in it, and it's not gonna look real.
it's not gonna look
Because
real.
a lot of reviews that I've read bad ones. I mean, not spoilers. I don't want to know how it ends, even though I have ideas. But a lot of the reviews, even the good ones and the bad ones, saying that it's a bunch of shit in the movie. They're saying that it's action scene after action scene after action scene after action scene. There's even an underwater action scene I heard.
Is Marion in this?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything of her. I think I read in some review that I think they're referring to him and Shia. He says he does mention things we want to know about the last movie, but I don't think they're in it at all.
See,
So they're gonna be
that
she's
that
probably gonna be dead. She's probably gonna be dead. And
that
he,
irks me.
he died in the war. He's probably gonna. I guarantee you, he died in Vietnam. It's the 60s. He died
They
in Vietnam, and she's dead. And he's like Rocky. You
then
know,
they already started horribly. Own up to your fuck ups and correct them. Bring Marion back. She's a great fucking character and she's alive for God's sakes. It's not like she passed away. Bring her back. Okay. Pay Shia whatever you got to pay him as Moat Williams,
one
even if it's
scene.
for one fucking scene, and blend it so that it's the same world. Don't just do the soap opera thing where they died off camera. We're not even going to acknowledge that fuck up of a movie. No, 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 no. That's what makes this movie already a fuck up.
They
You
probably do a
want to fix
photo.
it,
They
huh?
probably paid him. They probably do a photo. Remember what they did with Sean Connery? They showed him really quick in the last one. He's like, "Oh, he died."
Because he passed away.
No,
And they couldn't do it anyways.
he was alive in 2008. He didn't want to do it. They tried to get him back.
Mm,
They killed
yeah,
him off in
how
the
old
movie.
was he already? He was beyond retired. He was already in his deathbed, probably. He
He
probably
had,
died soon
no,
after.
he had already stopped making movies. They tried to get him back for that. They
See,
tried to
that's
get him back
different.
also for Skyfall. He was supposed to be the old man in the house that helps James Bond at the end. It was supposed to be Sean
That
Connery.
would have been fucking dope. Damn,
And
that would have been cool as fuck,
at the
man.
last minute, he said no, and
Oh,
they got Brian Cox or the other guy, the old whatever old man, that actor to do it. He was supposed to be
yeah.
Sean Connery. That
Damn,
was
that
the
would have
joke,
been
like, him passing the torch.
that would have been dope as fuck. Yeah, passing the torch for what? He dies at the end.
No,
Fucking pass the torch.
he survived. Oh, you mean
In,
Indiana Jones,
no.
James Bond?
Yeah.
No, no, but that was 3 movies ago. We're talking about Skyfall. Skyfall.
Skyfall was
The two movies back.
two movies.
Skyfall
Oh,
was the
okay,
one that
okay, okay.
everyone
No, yeah,
loved.
that would have been then. That would have been dope. That would have been cool as
Skyfall was
fuck.
the one at the end, the one with Javier Bardem in the house.
Yeah, yeah. They have like that fucking motorcycle forest shootout. Is that what it is? Where
No,
he's
no.
just.
The
I think
end
they
of
got blended.
Skyfall was his. He goes back to his mansion, his parents' mansion, and he booby traps it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But there's like a forest scene where he's walking through and it's quiet and there's like people looking for him in motorcycles and shit.
No, that
And
was the
they're
last
blending
one.
them.
That was the last one.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
isn't that the movie he dies? Yeah, I'm blending them in
Yeah.
my head.
The
Yeah, yeah.
Daniel Craig ones do blend together because they all look the same, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's another fucking story that pisses me off. Like
you think they're
James
gonna kill
Bond
off
never
Indiana
dies,
Jones, or
bro.
you think they're gonna kill him off, or they're gonna do some time travel shit where he
Nah, nah, they're not gonna kill
sacrifices his
him.
life and it doesn't happen?
I mean, knowing Harrison Ford, he probably forced them to fucking kill him off, but they said, nah, bro. But they probably like write him into the sunset somehow.
I hope so.
And he's done.
I don't. I mean, the death
They're not
thing.
gonna kill Indiana Jones. Oh my god, you imagine?
I don't
You
know,
want to see
man.
fans pissed? You think they were mad at Crystal Skull? Kill him in this one.
I don't know. I mean, Disney killed off Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia. Well, she died, but they wrote that in.
Yeah, and I'm thinking they learn from their mistakes.
I hope so.
If they don't, then they deserve what they get.
You know what's
Fuck.
gonna happen at the end? He's gonna at the end. It's gonna be some like chamber in Atlantis or something. He's gonna get frozen, and then just gonna end it like.
You imagine they kill him and Disney continues this on path of historical. They used to kill off all the mothers in the movies like Bambi and shit. Now they bought all these characters that you grew up with and they're just gonna fucking kill them all. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
And you know what? If they kill him off, then the next movie he'll just be a ghost like Harold Ramis in Ghostbusters.
No, he'll never come back to this shit. They'll have to do like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles or something.
Yeah, they should have. They waited way too long for that.
Oh no, they had an amazing idea when they did that. But fucking River Phoenix died.
They had the show, but it wasn't. I watched a couple episodes of the show. I remember wanting to be into it, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even
The
barely.
90s TV in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the idea was ahead of its time.
And then there was one episode of Harrison Ford. I do remember that one. There's one episode of Harrison Ford with a beard.
I don't remember
with
that.
the beard. It was around the time he was doing The Fugitive, so he had that beard, and it's him like reading a story during a snowstorm, and then it was like a flashback. I just remember that one because he was in
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
cool.
sure you can find it online because there's a lot of memes. You're gonna see him with the hat and the beard.
Why do I look like Nicolas Cage behind me right now?
What?
I look like, I'm like,
Do you know what movie is this? What movie is the one that he looks like Neo from the Matrix? Is that the Kiss of Death or one of those gangster ones he did? Really
the
young.
one on your left. I mean, all the way on your by your elbow.
Yeah, yeah. This one, the one with the sunglasses. I'm going
Yeah,
back.
that one.
I think
don't know.
Kiss of Death. Remember he did that movie where he was like a mafia guy. Oh, that might be. Is that 8mm? Because he has that look in 8mm. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you right now.
Because I know that's The Rock, Con Air. That one where he's like caveman looking. I'm not sure. But that looks new. But I'm trying to find out where that him with the sunglasses. That's not Face Off.
Yeah, that's him in 8mm.
8mm? Oh, okay.
Yeah. With machine.
Oh yeah. Remember? Remember what we used to say? Remember we used to go, why'd you do that? To get
Why'd you
hot?
do it?
Why'd you do that, Chewbacca? To get hot?
Dino Velvet.
Yeah, that movie's fucked up still, man.
That movie's fucking. Oh, you need to go take a shot. It's like fucking. 7. You gotta go
Seven.
shower after
Yeah,
that.
I think it's the same writer. That
Sick
movie is
bastard.
so like, oh my God. So, and then it's really long. You think it's over and it keeps going. You're like, oh my God, I forgot about all this shit.
that,
Yeah. That
that that's a classic Nick Cage.
underrated classic.
Yeah, that's him for sure in 8 millimeter. I'm looking at different stills right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to wrap it up, boys.
Time to wrap
So
it up. Till next time.
till next time, hopefully it won't be that long.
No, no, no. Hopefully we'll do it in July. At the end, my son's birthday is tomorrow. We're gonna go on a cruise soon.
Ooh, nice. Where are you guys going?
Oof, all over the Caribbean, Royal Caribbean this time.
Okay.
A nicer cruise. Ugh, shit's expensive. I don't know if you've been on a cruise, but with
Yeah, I've
kids,
been.
we get a nice room. Well, we got a nice place. Yeah, we're doing a cruise, a Caribbean cruise. So I'll be back like the weekend that Indiana Jones comes out. So
Oh, so
I'll
you're
probably
going right,
watch it.
you're going right from the port to the theater.
No, 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 not that fanatic anymore. I'm gonna wait. We're probably gonna watch it on Sunday or something.
Okay.
So then we can hopefully maybe you've seen it by now. We'll do
Shit,
something.
maybe I will see it before you then. Maybe. I'll let you know.
We'll see it and then we'll talk about it. And by then, Transformers will be out. I mean, whatever. What else is out? The Meg or the Meg 2. You seen the trailer for the Meg?
I never saw the Meg 1.
I saw it in a hotel. I saw pieces of it in a hotel on one of our trips. I saw a
Why
scene of
does this trailer have T-Rexes in it?
that. I know the trailer. I think that's the intro. It shows like the evolution.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Tanner has that. Yeah, yeah, the trailer has that. And it has
Nah.
the jet ski flipping, so we'll see.
All right. Well, then we're going to wrap it up for now.
So we're at right now. Oof, an hour 38.
That's about right.
That's a
That's
long
about
time,
right.
maybe. All right. Let's wrap it up. Till next time, guys. Let me stop it, and then I'll send it to you. Because I have to actually end the call to process it. So let me end it, process it, and I'll send it to you.
Well, then let's wrap it up officially.
Wrap
All
it
right,
up.
guys. Until next time, Creatures of the Night. The next podcast will be coming out 2025.
Exactly.
So enjoy it, motherfuckers.
Enjoy it. Until next time,
All right, guys.
I bid you good night.
I bid you good night.
Peace.